Well, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't got a clue what the date is. 6th of the 2nd, 11:30. Remote control for the inverter, and I go to turn it on. Yesterday when I turned it on, the light lit up, the inverter squealed and won't come back. You know what it's like when you turn an inverter off, it goes whee when it shuts down. That's what it did when I flicked it on, and I can't work out why. Been underneath there's no fuses in line. So one is going to have to investigate by removing the inverter. It's been used, I've had it in here 4 years, and as you know, I'm away for 6 months of the year, 6 to 7, sometimes 8 months of the year, and because I run a 240 volt fridge, it's on from sort of 6-7 o'clock in the morning until 6-7 o'clock at night. So it has been running. I've used it several times. I used it the other day in here to solder up that panel, the switches that are in there, because I took the voltmeter out and put a cigarette lighter socket in there. I'm just about to put double cigarette lighter sockets, one to run off the van battery when the engine's running, and one off the leisure battery, but it's going to go down next to the 240 volt socket down there. That's so I can plug my power oak into it and charge it up when I'm driving, because I don't want to, you know, have it in the front whilst I'm driving. You know, it's loose there. I'd rather it in the back. It ain't going to slide around. It isn't under the heater. So anyway, I got to get in the back now and try and get that inverter out. Right, even though it's been about 5-6 weeks, maybe more, since I finished doing videos on the van, I have been doing odds and sods. Like I put those side panels on to stop stuff falling off the shelves, and at the bottom there, tidied it up. I also made mounts, put mounts down at the end of the table, right, as though I can unclip the table, and it slides in and out now. So I can just slide it back into there, push it into the front, and there's a clip to stop it sliding around so it doesn't come forwards. It is solid there. All my toolboxes are up on that shelf. I haven't got the other tubs out yet. Lots of odds and sods. I've wired up my torch, so that's constantly charging. I've put that's the only thing that comes off the MPPT. I put an extra, that one does the interior lights inside the van, but then that one I put in because if I flick it on and I'm looking up, wrong one there, I've always had those up there since I've had the van. I just forgot to wire them up. Tidied up the wires a little bit here, cut one of the cables out, that 7-core cable. I got to pull him out because I think he goes down to this one here. I'm not sure. They both go down there. One goes into the body and one doesn't. Rubbish. So basically I've just been tidying up, and now my inverter is on the wall over there. I've even unplugged the remote and tried the manual switch, and it still doesn't come on. I've checked the terminals. The inverter goes through that there anyway. So I just can't work out why on earth it's gone like that. I've checked the trip. The trip is okay on the end of it. It's got to come out. There's no external fuse on it, so it's got to be come out and be stripped down. It is absolutely ice cold though. Yeah, it's absolutely ice cold. Alright, it's got to come out. I'll let you know when I got it out. Right, got it all apart on the side here now, and I'm going through it. Got the back off, but I have discovered that there's a bank of 7 25 amp micro fuses down there, and it looks like that one's gone. So I'll come back to you after I've pulled them all out and tested them. Right, I've stopped myself in my tracks. I've started to take the fuses out. The first two, they've snapped off in the board. They're both there, and the innards have come out of them. So I'm not wasting my time on this inverter, even although it has been an absolute ace inverter. It's a Sterling. It's lasted quite a few years. I've had it quite some time, and I'm not going to waste my time on that one. As I'm sticking my fingers in it, I mean, it's a 1600 watt continuous. I've got another 1600 watt in the box, so I shall fit that one instead. So this one can go for junk again, unless somebody wants it. Take all those fuses out and solder new ones in. I might do when I've got a bit of free time, but I'm definitely not going to do it now. Got the sun behind me. Right. The only other one I got there was the Joyrite. So it's the only other one with a remote on it. So I can go for a remote on it. It is bigger than that one. Same size in power like, but it is a bit bigger. So I've had to clear a lot more space up there. What a pain. Still, I've had this one quite some time as well, but this has been running Womble office, so I've just taken it out of my office. The other two were in the box, ready to go. Yeah, I'll fit him because he's got the switch on there, as though I can have it on power or remote, so I can turn him on and off in the boot when I'm in the boot. I can unplug him. The other one was hardwired, so I can unplug him and use him direct. Although I will be putting a double socket on the wall there for it. Right, get to and do it. Right, I've fitted the new inverter in, just turned it on, and it didn't bloody work. Alright, so got the tester out. If I put that on the negative side of the battery and test my low voltage shut off, I've got 14.9 volts there. Right, but go to the other side of it and I got 1.18. It's that bloody thing. That's twice it's played me up like that. Right, so I've just stripped that down and broke all those terminals off that old inverter, and there's nothing bloody wrong with him. That thing, that auto shut off, low voltage shut off is coming out. What a waste of time. You could tell what mood I'm in. Right, this thing was as new. It had got the receipt with it, but it was in a paramedic car. Right, and it had only just been refitted before they decommissioned the car. So, I don't know. And you lot should know, they're not that bloody cheap either. I don't think, no, there's no date on it. No, I can't see any date. No date anywhere. I think I looked last time. Yeah, anyway. He ain't gonna play me up anymore, so I got a nice big empty space there. That's in. Now is all I've got to do is put my bloody double socket in there, and I'll be away. Right, that's that done. That's in there. Works off the remote, turns on and off with the remote. I can turn it on and off on the switch on there, because there's an on off on switch on it. So the one goes to the remote, one goes to the on. I haven't put the cover back on the fuse box yet, but I've taken that out. Got a double socket there now. I don't need it there. It's just that my drill batteries plug in. I usually plug it in there and then put it back up on the shelf. So yeah, because I got another double socket there. So it's just handier. It's just cable management up there now. That's all I've got to do. Yeah. Oh, ow, oh, ow, oh, ow. There. That's it. Just got to tidy up. That's the part I ate. And then up the front, as I said, I am going to put that. I got a few of these. I've had them for quite some time. 2 cigarette lighter sockets and a battery tester. I just left it was in there. I've just pressed on it and it's just popped out. I just left it in there because it was there. It fills the space up. So I am going to put another fuse box up the front, because I've got power and that coming from the front to the back as well, and power from the back going to the front. So I want to fuse between the two. So that'll go in that base box down there, where everything comes in. Everything still goes in there. I didn't show it, but this is my trickle charger, which I use for the one Power Oak, because they're useless at that. They do go wrong easily. And I put a socket, because I've got one of those barrel connectors. So I put a socket underneath the seat. So I put 2 under there, as though I can charge up each individual battery up the front through the Power Oak when it runs down. But of course the solar's come up and it's flicked over. I've got that one in the window and the 200 watts on the roof, which is charging through that. See there, so they're both the same voltage. That still oh, excuse me, that still works. It's just the light isn't coming on. It does flash green, but if you listen, I don't know whether you can hear it, but it does squeal to say it's been turned off. So that still works. But then why it isn't, that one has never ever lit up, and that's the one that came with it. It's never ever lit up, even though it's a Sterling switch. It's a all-right inverter. Right, that's it. I shan't show wiring that up. It's just straightforward. The one that's off the front will be going through a relay. Because I wanted it on a switch, so I can turn it on and off as well. So I'm putting it through a relay, because it's pulling some sort of amperage, and if you put it through a switch, the switch will melt. So that's what happened there. Yeah, I did see a video, was it last night or the night before, where somebody's switch is melted because it doesn't work anymore. That's because you're putting too much current through it. Right. 5 amps, I think that's all you're supposed to put through those. They normally got it on them. Yeah, they've normally got it on them, but that's just normal on off. I've got on off, on off on, 3-way switch, on off on, because that one is an on right, for the 2-way. That's an on off, that's an on off, and that's an on off, but that's on, because if it isn't, there's the one at the back on there. So if I flick that, oh, not that one, if I flick that one, it turns the lights back off. So it's got to be an on switch. Because now they've come back on again. Right, that's enough waffling.